Hello, I'm here with Brian Rutherford, one of the developers on Dead and Buried. Thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit more about the game?
Sure, Dead and Buried is a touch-focused game that we're building internally, and it's a two-on-two multiplayer action shooter set in a Wild West setting.
That sounds very exciting. So you said that it was developed internally,
Yeah.
specifically for obviously motion touch. Can you tell us about some of the challenges you might have experienced in translating obviously a first-person shooter into a virtual reality game?
Sure. Well, probably the biggest challenges we've had is solving like third-person avatars for your character. So we only have the tracked head and the hands, so we know exactly where you're looking, where you're ducking and stuff. We know where your hands are at for aiming, but as far as like figuring out the rest of your body, we don't know what it's doing. So, but we really want to represent the character as a full person. So we sort of make educated guesses as to what the rest of the body is doing. So when you lean slowly, we're guessing that you're leaning, if you move your head slowly. If you move fast, we're guessing that you're stepping over. So we kind of fill in the blanks there. So, but it's really cool when it works because then you're actually being represented as a person in the game, and it's not just like a floating head or anything. Like it's you're another avatar and it feels like you're there with someone else.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And could you tell us a bit more about the multiplayer aspect of it and how that actually works in terms of games mechanics?
Sure. In this example, it's just a simple 2 versus 2 multiplayer experience, kind of like in other first-person shooters, but this time you're actually in the level. So in this setting, you're in the old saloon, the good guys versus the bad guys. You get to choose at the beginning, and then there's other weapons laying around that you can pick up, but you always have your 6 shooters at your holsters. So when you spawn in, you have to reach down just like in classic Wild West fashion, pull your guns out from your holster, and actually aim and shoot the other player. Now, what gets interesting in VR and with touch and motion controls is that you can actually duck and lean behind cover. So if there's a box in front of you or a barrel, if you're just standing there, you're probably an open target. So you're actually going to have to physically duck down and move. If there's a pillar there, you probably want to hide behind it, wait for the other team to shoot, and then step out and actually aim and see if you can hit them.
And so the two sides, obviously the 2 versus 2, is it good versus evil?
Good guys, bad guys. I mean, who is good, who's bad in the Old West? So that's how we kind of title it, just to sort of fit the idea. But yeah, it's
Excellent. And have you got lots of other VR projects in mind for 2016?
for us. I mean, the ideas are limitless, really. I mean, I like to work on so many different things. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of things to explore. I think when you get the headset, developers immediately have a lot of ideas on what they want to work on, things they didn't know existed. They're going to come up with in the first few minutes of actually trying out the hardware. And then they're handed the touch controllers, and they come up with even more experiences that they want to try to make. It's just really exciting times. It's very inspirational. These are the best.
Well, we'll be following your progress along
All
the
right.
way, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can keep up to date with everything Dead and Buried and more on vrfocus.com.